place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Good Thursday morning. It is May 7th, 2026, and you're listening to the PNW Today program streaming on WJOB, JED TV, and YouTube. Wherever it is that you're tuning in to catch us, we appreciate it. My name is Cale Wilk. I serve as a Media and Communications Specialist in the Office of Marketing and Communications at Purdue University Northwest. And this is one of our favorite segments that we get to do during the academic year. We're going to be recognizing a couple of our standout candidates for graduation, and to help do so this morning, Chancellor Kenneth C. Holford is joining in the studio.
Good morning, Cale. It's great to be here. And as you mentioned, my favorite time of year is we're wrapping up an academic year and getting ready to hold our commencement exercises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have a lot to look forward to for this weekend. We are anticipating that we are going to have over 1,000 candidates who are going to be participating at PNW commencement. It's going to be outdoors on the Hammond campus, and we're anticipating several thousand guests that are going to be out there to support our graduates as well. And these candidates, they are representing those who have completed their plans of study in fall 2025, spring 2026, as well as those who will be finishing up in summer 2026. So, as you said, we have a lot to look forward to.
I think we're anticipating thousands of people on campus. It's going to be very exciting for us. The last couple of weeks have been very exciting as the clubs and orgs, athletic events, we're starting to wrap up for the year. The culmination is really this commencement celebration. We're holding it outdoors because we will literally have thousands of people on campus for this event. And as you mentioned, we're anticipating about 1,100 graduates walking, including our baccalaureate students, our master students, and we'll be conferring 5 doctoral degrees at this event, which is really fantastic for us. The other things I'm excited about, will be joined this year by a couple of the trustees from Purdue University to participate in this celebration event. Our keynote speaker will be Professor Alejandra Castillo, who is serving as the Senior Fellow in the Chancellor's Office. She'll be delivering the commencement address. This is really always an exciting time of year where entire families are coming out celebrating and recognizing their graduates. The successful completion of any of these degrees takes an entire family, in many cases, to help students make it through that process. And so this is really the culmination event. And as we were discussing with some of our students out in the waiting room, many of our students have jobs already lined up, so they're looking forward to crossing that stage, getting the diploma, and then we'll probably by Monday morning be out in the workforce somewhere, something we're very proud of.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the things that every time that we have a chance to recognize our candidates for graduation and celebrate them, it's a really strong reminder of the impact that Purdue University Northwest graduates have for our region and that social mobility aspect that they earn by completing their academic careers at the institution.
Yeah, I think I was listening in the previous segment talking about sort of the value of higher education, and we know that the vast majority of our graduates will seek employment in our market in Northwest Indiana. So they'll be going out, as we'll be talking about later, to construction companies out in the area, into the hospitals in the area. And so we're an important contributor to the workforce in Northwest Indiana. And I've talked quite a bit about social and economic mobility provided by higher education, be able to move into better careers. And so, again, a very exciting time for us.
Absolutely. And what has also been exciting has been the academic year that was. And just wanted to highlight just a few things that have really stood out from these past few months. One of those has been the beginning of our 10th anniversary celebration. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the campus Purdue Northwest formed, the two-campus system up here in 2016. So we'll be entering our 10th year as Purdue Northwest. There will be a lot of celebrations on campus. That is also coinciding with the 250th anniversary of the country. And so we're looking forward to starting probably in the summer with a lot of exciting activities going on, recognizing both our 10th year as Purdue Northwest and the 250th year of the nation. So I am anticipating as exciting as this year has been, next year being even more exciting for us around the campus. Things I'm really excited about. Sometime in July, we will do the ribbon cutting on 2 new facilities at the university. The first of which is Calumet Hall, which is a new residential facility, a new dorm on campus. We've really undergone a transformation with students wanting a residential campus experience, and we're responding to the demands for housing. We'll have almost 1,000 students living on campus, participating in activities all around the campus. We'll be launching a Student Success Hub down in the classroom office building. But what I'm really excited about is the opening of the Roberts Impact Lab, which is right downtown Hammond, in the space where the mayor has really invested in making the downtown area look beautiful. We'll have a facility down there, and that will really be a high-performance computing facility. It'll capitalize on some campus strengths we have, like in our cybersecurity areas, but it will also include AI, and we'll be ready for the quantum fiber to come in for our researchers and our students to get training both in the AI space as well as the emerging quantum computing space.
Yeah. And all of that is really great, and I appreciate you sharing that because as you've had your career here at Purdue University Northwest, you have seen just how tremendously that the institution has grown and changed in its nature, what opportunities are being offered for our students, the physical appearance of it. I mean, certainly if anyone has passed by in recent months on 173rd in Hammond, you've seen just how quickly that the Calumet Hall...
Well, because this show is going out to the community, for those that have not been on our campuses in a few years, I would definitely encourage you to swing by and take a look. We look and feel much different than we did 25 years ago when I started at the institution. New facilities are on, and in most cases, state-of-the-art facilities that are the top-notch in Northwest Indiana. From our bioscience building, which houses our nursing, biology, integrative health, in those in that building to, again, the Roberts Impact Lab in the high performance computing area, and along with the renovations that we've done in a lot of the buildings that have made us a very student-centric institution. Really, a lot of thought has gone into the design to make students on campus feel comfortable inside and outside of the classroom.
Exactly. And that's one of those important things that we also have as a part of our strategic plan, that we are committed to being that student-centric institution serving Northwest Indiana and beyond. And one of the other parts of that strategic plan is continuing that academic excellence that we have at the institution. And there's been a number of really great highlights that we've had from this year. Just naming a few of them, a couple of our faculty members, Dr. Julia Rogers and Dr. John DeRocher, were accepted as fellows of societies for nursing and exercise science. Doctors Magesh Chandramoli and Jose Castro Urioste earned Fulbright specialist appointments. The Steel Manufacturing Simulation and Visualization Consortium that's spearheaded by our Center for Innovation through Visualization and Simulation just celebrated a 10th anniversary this spring. Lots of great things that have been accomplished this year.
Our faculty have really continued to do amazing things, and so we're recognizing today, I think, 4 of them named as fellows in their society or been granted Fulbright Awards. And that's really a recognition that comes from outside of the institution. These are the professional societies. Typically, it's a very small percentage of practitioners in these societies that get recognized as a fellow. Fulbrights are one of the recognitions that universities are measured by, where faculty are invited to other institutions, either domestically or internationally. So we're talking about 4 today, but that is 4 to a growing list of people being recognized by their professional societies and organizations as amongst the top scholars in those areas. And so, again, we're very proud of the accomplishments of our faculty at the institution. And I think one of our points of pride is, as a mid-sized public institution, when students come to our campus, these are going to be their professors in the classroom that have been recognized by their national societies.
Exactly, yeah. And we hear a lot of feedback from different students that these faculty members have such an impact on their academic careers. And it's not only just the sheer impressiveness of the knowledge and the scholarship that they're able to bring and the experiences, but also the strong relationships that they build.
And I think that's a sort of key element, Cale. Our faculty are at the institution because they want to interact directly with undergraduate and graduate students on campus. So I think we take great pride, our faculty takes great pride in providing the highest level of education possible to our students, and also integrates research that they're doing in their respective areas. And at our size, we're one of those institutions where undergrads from day one can get involved in meaningful applied research that is going on in the region. And I'm going to guess as we talk to some of the grads, they're going to have had these experiences on our campus with top-tier faculty.
Exactly. And when we bring up our first guest, it's going to be Cooper Olson, who's going to be joining us from men's ice hockey. Athletics has been another one of those areas that's been incredibly impressive this year. So for men's ice hockey, our ACHA Division I program had its 3rd consecutive national tournament appearance. Our stunt team just participated in its first national tournament appearance and went very far in that. That was very awesome. Men's basketball had a personal best record, and we were just talking about some GLIAC mentions that had just been announced for our softball team.
7 recognitions from the GLIAC for our softball team that we just found out about 2 minutes before we walked into this room. Athletics has been really amazing. Our teams continue to grow. Stunt was really special, that national tournament. This is only the 2nd year we've participated in stunt. We were nationally ranked this season, went down to the national tournament, and won 3 games down at the national tournament. And I think we'll finish with a ranking of about 6 nationally in only the 2nd year of running this program. Those games are exciting. They're fast, they move along, they're exciting, there's music playing. That's really been special. Our men's hockey teams, both the D1 and D2 team, had fantastic years again, both competitive in their conferences. We came very close to having two teams down at nationals in men's hockey. We're looking forward to the launch of women's ice hockey next fall to sort of add to that success. They'll be completing at the Division I, ACHA Division I level. We launched flag football this year, women's flag football. Again, a very fast-moving, exciting sport. I would certainly invite people over to Darling Park to watch our teams compete. We had a great weekend in flag this last weekend, winning several games. Athletics has been a growing part of the culture of campus. We have 530 athletes on campus, doing well, winning, and more importantly to me, performing well academically, with our teams on 20 straight semesters of a cumulative grade point average above a 3.0. 30 to 40 a semester, having perfect 4.0 grade point averages. So it's not just the athletic part that's important to me, it's the academic component. And again, I think one of our guests joining us played on that men's ice hockey team.
Exactly, and I remember he has shared comments that he appreciated his experience, and he said it himself, students first, athletes second, which is echoed
our motto.
Constantly. Yes. Just for the last few minutes here before we transition into speaking with some of our candidates for graduation, what we're looking forward to this summer, we have an 10th anniversary gala that is going to be coming up later
Sold
this
out
month.
already.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that, as well as what else we might be looking forward to this summer.
So again, as we enter into our 10th year as Purdue Northwest, we will have our 10th anniversary gala that is going on. We've had remarkable support from the community around us wanting to be part of that. We sold out probably over a month ago. We're looking forward to a really exciting event, recognizing our Alumni of the Year at that ward, as well as recognizing other individuals, emerging leaders that graduated from Purdue Northwest. It'll be an exciting celebration for us. We just are coming off a great Purdue Day of Giving, or Purdue Northwest Day of Giving, which is part of the system Purdue Day of Giving event, where we, again, had enormous support provided by both the alumni and the companies and organizations around campus, really making contributions to support scholarship for many of the students on our campus. So I'm really excited. It's a great opportunity for us to showcase what we're doing, how the institution continues to change. And again, as I mentioned in my opening comments, it will coincide with the 250th year celebration of the nation. And so we're very proud in a lot of those respects to recognize all those activities that are going on, and thankful for the support that the communities in Northwest Indiana have provided to Purdue Northwest to help us continue meeting our mission of producing top-tier graduates that are going to go out into the workforce in their companies up in the region.
Absolutely. Well, Chancellor, do you feel ready to bring on our first
I'm
guest?
excited, Cale, to bring in some of the students here and talk about their experiences, what their future plans are post-graduation. And I'll look forward to shaking their hand when they come across the stage on Saturday.
Absolutely. Well, with that, stick around. We're just going to take a quick 2 to 3 minute break, and we're going to bring on Cooper Olson, who is one of our candidates for graduation this spring. We'll be right back.
Plumbers Local 210 is building the future, and we're looking for service plumbers to join our team. Our training center invests nearly $500,000 every year to make sure our members are the best in the industry. From a 5-year apprenticeship and an associate degree at Ivy Tech to ongoing certifications in safety and new technology, our plumbers are trained for excellence. Every member is drug tested and licensed for your safety and peace of mind. When you need plumbing work done, make sure you ask for the license. It's your right to ask.
Before Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, we were being charged various maintenance fees and various check writing fees for all of our accounts. And with Notre Dame, we don't have that. We have that true community partnership. We get interest based on all of our parish and school accounts, and the interest rate is really second to none.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware of where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
For over 140 years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
Okay, we're back after the break again. This is the PNW Today program on WJOB and JED TV, and we're recognizing some of our standout candidates for graduation as a part of this show. And the first guest that we have on is Cooper Olson, who is finishing his Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering this spring 2026. Cooper, thank you so much for being here this morning with us.
Thank you so much for having me. This is my pleasure, and this is great. Thank you.
Yeah. And we were just talking before we got on the air, and you said that you just have finished up your finals and you're feeling good about it, right?
Yes, feeling excellent. I only had 2 finals to deal with, so with the engineering degree, usually it's quite a few finals, but now with the last semester of the senior year, only had 2 and felt great about them.
And that's excellent. And how are you feeling as we're heading into commencement this weekend and getting to celebrate you, your classmates, your fellow teammates as well that might be graduating? Your family's going to be coming in to celebrate you too. How are you feeling about it?
Feeling excellent. I can't wait to celebrate. Me and my teammates and family, we've all talked about how fast it's all flown by. And the 4 years is some of the fastest of your life. And I've enjoyed every moment of it and tried my best to take it all in. But at the same time, it flies by, and, you got to do what you can, And so it's really excited to celebrate it all and kind of take in that moment one more time before I officially become a Purdue University Northwest alum.
Excellent. Well, so one of the big things that has happened for you at the tail end of your academic career is you signed to join the Indiana Sentinels in Columbus, Indiana. Tell us about this opportunity and what that has meant for you.
Yeah, so as Chancellor Halfer was talking about, where we went to nationals and we had that time out there in St. Louis, try to stretch the season as long as we can. Obviously didn't quite finish up where we wanted to, but still, when we finish our season in St. Louis, we consider it a very successful season still. Finished up down there, and actually on the bus ride back to Purdue Northwest, I got a text from one of the coaches for the Indiana Sentinels, and was like, "Hey, I see your season's finished up. Would you interested in playing some big boy hockey?" And he ended up, giving me directions, and he was like, "All right, well, when's the soonest you can be here?" And I pretty much got back off the bus from St. Louis, packed everything up, and headed straight down to Columbus, Indiana, and I caught their game on Saturday night, and then the next day, right away at Sunday, I got my first career start, which is pretty special. I had family coming up from St. Louis where they were, my mom and sister, they were just at the games.
At the tournament, yeah.
In St. Louis, and all of a sudden, they hear I'm getting the call, and they're like, well, we can't miss this. Mm-hmm. So there they are. They go out to Columbus, Indiana, meet me there, and just a really special moment sharing that, end of one career into the next with my family. It was cool.
Yeah. And so just to give some shout outs here for a few accolades. You're a very humble person, and we do appreciate that a lot. But just to gas you up for a little bit here, across your career, you've had 19 shutouts, a .933 save percentage, 3 national tournament appearances with the PNW ACHA D1 men's ice hockey team, a World University Games appearance, and among other personal records. And I think I'll just tack one on here. In recent memory, I don't know how many other student guests have come on either the PNW Today or PNW Athletics Today programs as much as you have. So maybe we can put a feather in your cap for that one too. But really a very decorated academic and athletic career for Purdue Northwest. So you got to be feeling great about all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, feeling excellent about it. Looking back at my entire career, also as a member of the Honors College here at PNW, which I think was one of the huge things where it gave me an opportunity to be a member of the community, more so than, athletics provides a great opportunity to do that. But at the same time, Honors College also does that and gives students an opportunity to do a little bit more, be a little bit more than themselves and reach out to the community. And that's a special part about college is being, part of the, the city around you and really making an impact on everyone.
Yeah, and I think that's an important note because not only does our athletics program really participate in community service, that's the sole focus of the part of the honors program.
Absolutely.
With a big commitment to providing service to the communities around us. So you must have been pretty busy. You mentioned your finals. Did the senior design project get finished?
Yes, it did get finished. My senior design project was a lot, and my shout out to all my teammates that I had on the senior design project because I was gone in Columbus, for my time with the Sentinels, but they did a fantastic job of carrying on the project and getting things done. What our project was for the listeners is it was a bladesmithing project where taking in the local huge steel industry that Northwest Indiana is a part of, where it's 1/3 of the steel production in the U.S. is made here in Northwest Indiana, which is incredible. And we kind of took that and for engineering, we have a lot of material science and a lot of those pieces to our learning. Kind of combined it all into a fun project where we could make something that we'd enjoy doing. We've seen all the Forged in Fire shows and whatnot. And so we bladesmithed a sword, a katana, and the team did a fantastic job really bringing it home at the end of the semester and put the finishing touches on it 2 weeks ago. We were cutting it close a little bit, but we got it done, and that was really fulfilling for all of us to have a completed product and just be happy that our entire senior year we built something, it's done, and it kind of shows our learning throughout the entire school year.
And based on the activities you were engaged in athletically and academically, that means you probably were from the north end of campus to the south end of campus on almost every building.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. It was a busy schedule, and especially with the earlier semesters or years with junior and sophomore year where it's really in a grind, you got 5 classes, you're taking, 18 credit loads. It gets super busy for sure.
So we didn't prompt you for this, but when you think about faculty that had a big influence on you, can you name one of them or two of them that really you feel had a really positive impact on your academic trajectory?
Yeah, absolutely. Natalie Jarrett is a huge member of the athletics program that kind of is great at checking in with all the student athletes and making sure we're all on track and taking care of things where, she's like, if you need me for anything, working with professors or what have you. Obviously, it's very tough on professors where we're athletes and we're missing a lot of days due to athletics. She's able to support us and, help be a mediator in some ways where it's, professors, they might not take too kindly to us missing huge exams and not necessarily give us, free passes, which completely understandable. And she's great at, stepping in and being a person that's for both sides and sorts things out for us.
I did notice at the Leo Awards, and for our listeners, the Leo Awards are Sportsman of the Year, the different accolades that the athletes get. When they announced the advisor, William, there was an enormous shout-out. So I know William has had a very positive impact as one of the academic advisors for the athletes as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely has been. I haven't had the pleasure to interact with him too much, but I know plenty of my teammates have been super grateful for him throughout their career.
Excellent. Well, certainly, Cooper, you've been one of those standout examples where, just as the Chancellor and I were talking about in our first segment, where at PNW with athletics, there is a great balance that we emphasize about being a student and an athlete. And I would say in flying colors, you have been an exemplary person that has showcased that for our institution.
Thank you.
I did also just want to pose the question here. So you're an Upper Midwesterner through and through, where your background shaped a lot about your athletic and academic career. So tell us a little bit about how, as originally born in Madison, but grew up in Minnesota by the Twin Cities. How did that shape you in getting interested in hockey as well as engineering?
Yeah, absolutely. With born in Madison, Wisconsin, family was huge Badger fans growing up, and when I told them I was going to be in Boilermaker colors, they didn't take it too kindly at first, but they've been extremely supportive over it. But as far as Minnesota goes, like you were saying, it's they have huge like medical facilities like the Mayo Clinic, and in order to produce all of these medical technologies, there's massive companies out there like 3M, Boston Scientific, and I had the pleasure to live very nearby these massive companies growing up, and just always was fascinated with, a lot of my buddies' parents worked at those places, so I would kind of pick their brain a little bit and be like, okay, so what do you work on, or what kind of devices do you make? And that kind of really spiked my interest at a young age, working with, trinkets and, the Legos, obviously the very telltale signs, like, oh, you might be an engineer, And then as far as hockey goes, Minnesota, a couple of my Michigan teammates don't think so, but it's obviously, to me, the state of hockey. Yeah. It's the best, statistically wise, the most people out of the U.S. playing in the NHL. It's Minnesota through and through. I could go on and on about it. There's a lot of Minnesota pride as far as hockey goes for me. And obviously, with being from Wisconsin, I got a little bit later start than most my age. And so for me, I was like, okay, well, I got to find some way to contribute. I gotta find some way. And it was a little bit more defense. I would hang back, in younger games where kids were flying around me. I'm like, all right, well, I'll stay here. I can play a little bit defense. And then that kind of faded into goaltending a little bit. And then I was like, oh, the equipment they wear is so cool. And, with the PNW, you can see it on my helmet. That's one of my passions is, how cool our helmets. We get to have a little customization, a little personality, a little different than the rest of the players. So I loved kind of customizing my helmets with the lion, the PNW on it. So, yeah.
And I think you shared a photo from some of your first appearances with the Sentinels. You were able to sport the lion helmet in the game, right?
Yeah. I had the coupe on the chin and then all the PNW colors on it. And, a lot of people were really impressed with the helmet. They're like, man, obviously, they could tell I'm coming from a college. So that's another big thing about the league is after college seasons finish up, there's a lot of college players coming in. So they keep an eye out for little signs like that. Oh, this guy's a rookie, keeping an eye out for it. So, yeah. It was cool.
Absolutely. So tell us, as you're going to be starting out here with the next steps of your career, what do you see for yourself in the future?
Yeah, as far as my future goes, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of friends and family and coaches, and all of them have kind of given me the same feedback. Continue to play as long as you can. You got the rest of your life to work. You have the opportunity right now, might as well take advantage of it. And that's kind of what I'm going for. I've had the opportunity now. I'm able to play for the Sentinels next season, where obviously I have to put a lot of work in. Nothing's given. It's got to be earned. I've learned that through PNW and all my spots where I've been throughout athletics. And so I'm going to give that a go. I'm going to play as long as I can down there with Columbus and see if my journey can take me farther on in my professional career. I hope, always the aim is to move up. But once that's kind of done and, I'm happy with my career, I'm lucky enough to be in a point now where I can kind of say when I'm done. A lot of people don't get to say that, where, they might not move on to the next level. I'm extremely blessed where, I have now this choice where do I want to keep playing or not? And so I'll keep playing that, and then the plan after pro hockey is to fall back on this fantastic PNW degree that I've earned and has been my reasoning for coming here to PNW as well, the degree. First things first, have athletics, but. Yeah.
And I think you've done a wonderful job of setting yourself up to allow you to pursue this opportunity, knowing that you've completed a very marketable degree from our institution that is there for you when you choose to be done playing.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And wherever that is, maybe I make connections through PNW and I'm back here. Maybe it's back in Minnesota, like I was saying, back to the roots where it's inspired me to be an engineer firsthand. But, we'll see. Okay. It's exciting. Got the future ahead of me, and it's fun stuff.
And a very bright future at that.
Yeah, and Cooper, we're very proud of all of your academic and your athletic accomplishments at the institution. You've really been a role model for student success at Purdue Northwest.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it's been an absolute pleasure being here. There's so many things and people that I've learned and met. It's just been an incredible experience, and I tell everybody it was my favorite decision I ever made was coming to PNW. I've had a lot of difficult decisions throughout, athletics and academics, but this one by far was my favorite.
Well, we're glad you made that choice, and it was a good one.
Sure was. Thank you.
And while we have just a few more minutes here, because the time goes by very fast.
It does.
That was exactly one of the things that you said in a written profile that is online. And I should shout out, if anyone goes to pnw.edu/commencement, and you look in the newsfeed section, there are a few written profiles that have been publishing throughout this week of our candidates for graduation, including Cooper. And you were sure to mention that the time does go by very fast during your academic career at PNW, and that the relationships that you built with your fellow teammates, with students, with faculty members, that's been incredibly meaningful for you, right?
Absolutely, yeah. They say never to burn a bridge, and at college it gives you the opportunity to build as many bridges as possible. And that's kind of the huge, you learn how to learn, and then you learn how to meet people, are my two favorite things to say about college is, the people that you meet while you're at college can turn out to, shape where you're at the rest of your life. It could be people you reach out to for jobs, for advice, for just, personal camaraderie and just enjoying time with people. So those are some relationships that I've made between, my teammates, my peers, my professors that I know that I'll have lifelong connections with those people. And I kind of mentioned in that article where freshman year is kind of where it starts. So if I'm to give a little advice to any incoming freshman, for sure, it's make those connections really quick. Obviously, it's hard to put yourself out there, but I highly recommend it because those connections you make early on are going to pay dividends to you the rest of your career at PNW and at college in general. I was talking about relationships. That's a huge deal with college, absolutely.
Excellent. Cooper Olson, folks, BSME 26, congratulations on a fantastic academic and athletic career at Purdue University Northwest. We are very proud of you, and thank you so much for joining us on the PNW Today program this morning to share more about your career at the institution. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we're just going to take another quick few-minute break, and then we're going to bring on Shelby Noonan, who is completing a degree in construction management engineering technology. So stick around.
And Cale, we just talked to Cooper about not burning bridges. Shelby literally builds bridges, so It'll be an exciting transition for us.
Exactly, yes. Stick around. You're going to want to hear this one. All right.
Searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Okay, listeners, welcome back to the PNW Today program. Again, it's May 7th, 2026. We are spotlighting a few of our standout candidates for graduation on the radio program. And last but not least, we have Shelby Noonan joining us, who is graduating from the PNW College of Technology with a degree in Construction Management Engineering Technology. Shelby, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So how are you feeling with your last week as a PNW student and heading into this weekend for commencement?
I am just excited that I made it through the final semester, finished the senior project, and just finished strong with all these finals and everything.
Excellent. Very good. And you're going to have family that's going to be celebrating you too this weekend, right?
Yeah, my parents and my two sisters are going to be coming to commencement this weekend.
Excellent. Well, so we want to hear more about your background and how you came to PNW, how you became interested in your discipline. But I think the elephant in the room that we have to talk about, because we kind of teased it up in the previous segment, you like bridges. And you're involved with bridge projects
Yes.
in the region. So tell us a little bit about this and your role with FH Passion.
Yeah, so right now I am an intern, hopefully starting as a project engineer once I graduate. It is, our Indiana office is a more heavy civil focus, so railroads, bridges, trains, roads, that type of thing. I recently got put on a project out in Lake Station, the Ripley Street Bridge demolition and reconstruction. I think I learned a lot there about just how everything works and that type of thing. And just now recently I'm on 113th Avenue over I-65 in Crum Point.
That's excellent. And I think what's really incredible is that, you know, we talk about the impact that Purdue Northwest students and graduates have on the region. And there's plenty of motorists around here who get to pass really over or under any of these structures. And so they can know that there has been a Purdue Northwest student that has had a hand in this.
And I really think that, and I applaud you, because I think building and construction management is one of the signature programs on our campus that has some of the most noticeable impact on the communities around us. Given all the construction that is going on, heavy industry that is up in this area, it's one of the programs we're immensely proud of and generate a lot of the applied practitioners out in the area.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's really cool just to see, like, even students who graduated last year, I had a couple classes with, like, post their projects online, and then, like, you drive by and you're like, oh, like, I knew someone who worked with that, or, like, even when, like, my coworkers, they, like, when we drive by projects, they're like, oh, like, I worked on that, or I was involved with that somehow. So at some point, like, everybody was involved a little bit all around.
And I think another sort of bragging point for our College of Technology and the Building and Construction Management program is many of our faculty come from the industrial world. They are practitioners before coming in as instructors. Can you comment on your experiences with our faculty?
Yeah, I think especially this last year we had a wide range of from different aspects of the field. So one of our professors is an architect, so when you needed that side of things, submittals, like the drawings, design, he was very good to like go to for questions for senior project or pretty much anything. We also have a structural engineer as one of our professors, so he teaches all of the math classes, and he really just understands that side of it. And then I also have a professor who was in the local 150 union, and he kind of worked his way up and also got his degree in construction management. So also seeing the field side of it and him explaining the actual process of how to build things or like the inspection side. I think when you put everybody together, you kind of get all sides of it and all aspects, which really helps you understand the field side and also the office side of things.
Yeah, as some of our instructors are actively working for many of the companies around here. So great connections with industry locally.
Yes. And then obviously they helped a lot of students get internships at even the companies they work at or that they're connected to. So I also think that that connection helps you advance out of college also.
And before we move on, Kale, I asked Cooper about his senior design project. What can you share about your project?
Yeah, so I actually did the project I was working on for FH Passion. I did the Ripley Street Bridge demolition and reconstruction. So I kind of went through the construction process of it, what you do in the office to make sure everything runs successful. I also went into the bridge we tore down versus the bridge we put back up. So just how engineering, design, standards have changed over the last 75 years.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Truly an excellent example of that hands-on and applied learning aspect that we emphasize.
That we're so proud of at our institution, across the institution.
Absolutely. Let's ask the question here. How did you get interested in construction management as the discipline that you wanted to major in college?
Yeah, so for most of my life growing up, my dad was always in residential construction. He has always worked for some sort of residential company. He also flipped houses for most of my childhood with my mom, and so he would always, like, that was a weekend thing. We would go on the weekends and help him finish everything up. He showed me and my sisters how to do basically everything, so that was kind of the peak in the construction industry. My sister graduated last year with a construction management degree, so I think she was a big influence in, like, just the way she would talk about it and her internship and everything she learned and connected it back to what my dad taught us. So I think she was definitely a big push that, like, this was also something I would be interested in and something I would like to do. And now I work with her, so I think kind of following in her footsteps, she has taught me a lot and encouraged me a lot throughout the way.
I think that's really incredible that your inspiration has come in due part from your family members, and like you said, you get to follow in their footsteps, and so that's really incredible, and you get to continue making that impact locally for Northwest Indiana, just as the Chancellor and I were talking about in the first segment about how we have graduates and alumni who choose to stay in Northwest Indiana because they care deeply about it, they want to help improve the quality of life, and to be able to give back to the communities that they're from.
And the university is having such a big impact, and the graduates of the university are having such a big impact in all of Northwest Indiana.
Yeah. We should also mention here that you were a student leader in Construction Club at Purdue Northwest.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that experience.
So at the end of last year, they had asked me if I was in Construction Club for 2 years, but they had asked me if I wanted to take on more of like a leadership role for it. So I started at the beginning of this school year in the vice president role. And then this past January, I got moved up to the president role for it. I do think that I kind of took everything that happened in the last 2 years and tried to make it more student-based with more activities so that everybody could learn the different aspects of the whole industry. We coordinated the Bat House project, so there is now 2 bat houses that are on campus. They are by the gym on campus, and then we also have done Habitat for Humanity projects a few times this semester, and then also having like guest speakers come in from companies. So my whole goal was to try to get a lot of the younger students in internships and just out in the industry earlier, just because I feel like that was something that I struggled with. I didn't get my first internship till after my junior year. So I want to try to get the freshmen and the sophomores in just so you have more experience throughout the whole process.
And that's such an important part of the training, those internship opportunities. shout out to the community. If you're thinking about bringing on a potential intern, please reach out to us because we are looking for those opportunities to get our students placed, getting that real world applied experience.
I do think that was like where I learned the most. It was taking the stuff you learn in the classroom, and at the internship you connect everything back to how you're actually going to use it in the field and in the world.
Yeah. Also tell us a little bit about the on-campus space that you get to use with Construction Club with the Anderson Building.
Yeah, so we do have a room on the second floor that we have kind of sort of converted into like a job trailer like vibe, I guess. So we have like plans on the walls, and then we just have the schedule on the board of everything. So we were having once a week meetings, and it was me and my vice president now, Clayton, pretty much leading everything. We, at the beginning of every semester, we hear from the students and what they want to know. So we did like a submittal course this semester, and also just which companies they want us to get in contact with to come out and speak. So I know this semester we had Powers and Sons as one of the companies that came out. So just connecting back to the students and what they want to learn and what keeps them interested and involved was kind of my main focus, especially this last semester. And now I'm hoping that that moves into the 2 students we chose to pass it down to.
Excellent. And also got to mention here, as a part of Construction Club, you participated with the Associated Schools of Construction Region 3 competition, and there was a second place finish overall for the heavy civil team. So what all went into that competition?
So this was my 3rd year going. Going into it the very first time, I definitely had no idea what to expect. Even just as a school, we weren't very prepared for it. Not just like it was more of like a senior, like if you were a senior, you would be very prepared for it, but I was a freshman going into this competition, not knowing what to expect. So by my 3rd time, I was scheduling like trainings with different companies and different sites just to try to get the freshmen that were going to understand what was expected of them. FH Passion was actually one of the sponsors for this project, and I did their heavy civil group for this. We ended up doing the estimate. You go over like the drawing plans, and you put together basically a whole bid process for a project that they give you. It starts at 7 in the morning, and it's due at midnight. So usually what takes companies and like groups of people a couple months to complete, we had 12 hours, which was obviously at like a much lower scale, but we had 12 hours to complete it. And so this was the first year in all 3 of mine going, and also the first time at PNW that we had placed for this last year.
So in the last segment, we talked about impact of competition in athletics, but I think an important note is, in particular in our engineering disciplines, we're competing as well on the academic side of the house with many clubs and organizations sponsored to go compete in regional or national competition. And we performed remarkably well in everything from Baja Racer, Formula Car, Steel Bridge, surveying. I think we've done very well in the surveying competition. That idea of competition against other universities allows us to showcase the strength and talent we have in our student body.
Exactly. And that's so awesome that you've had the opportunity to be a part of that, to be a student leader in that aspect. And also, as you were saying, just looking out for your fellow classmates to see, like, okay, how can I help them also find those opportunities with networking, with moving up in their leadership opportunities. So we absolutely commend you for that. That's absolutely awesome. While we still have a few minutes here, I also do want to be able to tee up the question about the advice that you would want to give to prospective and even current students for Purdue Northwest.
I think the main thing that I think helped that I learned over the past couple years was definitely to get better at communication. Obviously the professors will understand if you have like stuff going on outside of school or like issues or stuff like that, and I think I did a lot better in my classes when I wasn't scared to ask for like extensions or just communicate with the professor about like what I needed to succeed, because in the end they just want to see you like get good grades in their class, graduate, and as long as you talk to them and are open about everything going on, they will almost always help you get through everything.
So I want to follow up and ask you the same question, and that is, clearly your family had an impact on your trajectory. Yeah. What faculty or staff member you interact with had a big impact on you?
Definitely my professor and advisor, Afshin Zahari. He is also runs the construction club with me. He's our advisor for that. I think over the last couple years, just him, like, his encouragement and everything, especially my senior project, it was a running joke that I would email him at midnight and he would respond at 2 a.m. So just, like, he was always very, like, encouraging and always had something nice to say even when things were not going that well. He also gave, like, just the best advice, and if you had questions about anything, he always made time to make sure that he could talk to you and help you through everything. Another one would probably be Don Duncan, another one of my professors. I went to him more when I needed, like, real world opinions, I guess, honest opinions. He very much told you, like, how things actually were going, which I think is also something that I needed. He also always made time to talk to you and answer your emails. And he was another one where, like, if I needed more time or needed help with anything, he was always there for that also.
I really appreciate hearing that, because I think it really showcases that our faculty and staff are here to help our students be successful. They want them to be successful, and they invest their own time in helping students along in the process, providing advice, information, and that really goes to our strategic goal of being a student-centric institution.
Absolutely. Well, let me just go ahead and tee up one last question for you. If you had to think about what was the favorite aspect of your academic career at PNW, what would you say that was and why?
I think it was probably getting the second place at that ASC competition, just because it was something I had worked for 3 years at that point. And I think even some of the professors were starting to get to, like, it's not happening. So just, like, planning everything, preparing everybody, and then actually coming home with the trophy, I think was probably, like, one of my favorite moments at PNW. And then also, obviously, ending my senior project and doing that final presentation was another good moment.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being able to share all of this great information about your academic career, what your next steps are going to be in your professional role with FH Passion. We're very proud of you, and way to go with all of your accomplishments and all that you have to be able to look forward to. Shelby Noonan, folks, BS 26 PNW graduate for this spring. Thank you so much for joining us on this morning, and an additional thank you for Chancellor Holford for taking time to join
again,
us.
Shelby, very proud of your
Thank
accomplishments and excited about your future.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely. And I'll just do just one last quick shout out. We appreciate the help at the WJOB studio from Adriana Alvarez and Joe Cimino throughout this academic year. Both of them are going to be participating in our commencement as well, and they're both have earned their degrees in communication from PNW. So congratulations to both of you as well. We're proud of you, and we look forward to celebrating all of you this Saturday at commencement. So that's going to do it for the PNW Today radio program for May 7th. Be sure to tune in for next week. Rick Costello, pun somewhat intended, is going to bring it home for us as our Director of Athletics for the May 14th program. So be sure to tune in for 8 a.m. for that as well. Thank you very much for joining us today. Take care and have a great weekend.